level of exhaustion, okay? It's just, I'm doing this later than normal too. I realized I didn't fully intend to do that, but it's kind of good because we were busy today. Hi, Mackenzie. Occasionally, I feel like I'm just not in it, you know? Just got a notification I have my therapy appointment tomorrow. I missed last week, and you guys, I could tell. Okay, let's put it that way. Do I have chapstick in here? Oh, I do. I love when I do smart things like that. Now there's hair all over me. Oh my gosh. Are you guys drinking wine? Do we have water? Do we have tea? What's the vibe here? I've also been drinking a Calm powder that I got from Costco. Have any of you guys ever tried that? I've been drinking that. Well, I actually just tried it last night for the first time, and I'm going to drink it after this. This is the one I was drinking last week. I should have freaking brought the bottle down here to show you guys. It's so good. And tea. I also have these on my nightstand. Love. These are really good. If you guys like Charleston shoes, like when I was younger, I used to love those. The magnesium powder, yes. It's called Calm, but I did see that it's like a magnesium powder. It's like the raspberry lemon, I think. I'm sorry, I do feel bad about doing it later. Most people prefer I do it at 8 to 8:30. Okay, sorry, I shouldn't be eating this while I do this because it's so chewy. But 9 I actually don't like either because I still have to work after this. And so if I'm going to start work at 10 and who knows what time I'll be up till. So I don't like it this late either, but we were at a friend's house doing an ice cream party. So I wasn't sure if I was going to get home and get the kids in bed in time to be able to get on here at 8:30 and I didn't want to be late. Good question. So today we're going to do kind of, Lucy is having a heyday eating her own tail. Girl. Dogs are so weird. Today we're going to do like kind of a mixture, a Q&A. Of course, if you have a question, you can most definitely ask it. Any question under no theme. I also wanted to do relationship advice / things I learned after a breakup. So if you have questions related to those things, definitely feel free to ask. Usually for themes, when I post the theme, I like to do it a few days before the live so that you guys have time to send in messages because I know that the comments are limited. But I didn't post it like soon enough. So I just didn't ask people to message me and I figured we can do it on here. It's been so busy. I mean, it's obviously like having kids in life is just busy as it is. But I feel like recently, I think just because it's the end of summer and I'm trying to do the most with the least amount of time, I feel like I really have been extra busy. I would love to know what your first pregnancy symptoms. That's a really good question. Gosh, it's been a while now. I would have to say probably tiredness. I didn't really get sick, but tiredness. I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard one. Out of breath. Out of breath is always one of the first ones for me. You had a facial today? Oh, girl, I'm so jealous. Are you ready for the kids to go back to school? Yes. It's like bittersweet because I've loved doing such fun things with them, especially transitioning into having them pretty much full-time other than a little bit of the weekend when they go with their dad. We've really gotten into a good routine and I'm like really big on routine. So I've really liked that, but school will just be a new opportunity to do that. Kyra, I know you probably didn't watch, but I have to know if you did, your thoughts on Oscar's video because I was shook. Are you still friendly? Okay with him? He actually was at my house when he was filming part of it and editing it, and he asked my opinion and advice on some of it, and so I gave him my advice and my opinion on it, and I watched what he had at the time, which was a very rough draft. I haven't seen it since it's gone up. To be honest, I probably won't watch it. But from what I did see, I did really like the video. I felt like it was a very vulnerable video. I know how hard it is to share emotions and feelings, especially on the internet. So I was happy for him that he did that. My advice was to him is to be as raw as possible because Oscar's videos are very edited and they're so good. Like, nobody can take that away from him. He is an amazing filmmaker, essentially. And so, yeah, I really liked that about the video. I just told him at the time, and again, I don't know what it is compared to that, so it may be very different. He may have taken my advice, he may have not. And I told him when I gave him my advice, you know what you're doing, like, trust your own instincts. But I felt like with how vulnerable he was being, the less edited it was better, because sometimes it can take away from the raw emotions. So, yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it since he was at my house a couple days ago, and I probably won't. But yeah. Will you guys be having an engagement party? Yes, I actually just sent out the invitations today. Finally. Oh my gosh, I feel like it took so long. The place that we're doing it, they only are in the office like Wednesday through Sundays, so I couldn't really plan it other than certain days. The other thing I will say about his, again, the rough draft video that I saw is, I have a hard time with sometimes the way things are portrayed versus how it actually is, for entertainment purposes. And so, not to say that that video was for that. It definitely was not. Those were his real emotions. But I always, when he asks me for advice, that's always been something that I've tried to push on our videos, even when we were doing them together, is like, entertainment is very important when doing social media, and I understand that, but there's also this level of connecting with people, and when you're sharing such raw emotions, to be very honest and not scripted. And so yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of forgot the beginning of what I was just saying, but what was I saying that's gonna drive me nuts? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was very proud of him for being very open and emotional. Yeah. Do you read? If so, what's your favorite book right now? You guys, I love to read, surprisingly, because in high school, actually middle school too, I didn't read jack. I never read. But, sorry, so many thoughts are running through my mind at this time of night, you guys. It's just off. I love to read, but I didn't used to. The book that I did most recently read, which was quite a while ago, that I really loved, was Verity. That was a really, really good one. Don't answer if it's too personal. Are you doing hormonal birth control? Or I don't use birth control. Thank you, Linda. Did you go through any of the same similar feelings that he showed in the video? Again, I haven't watched the final video, so yeah, but I can say I don't really like talking about this because I feel like I'm taking away from his video and his emotions and his moment that he's having right now. But I think I have kept a lot of things to myself through this because the world has really turned on me. And for some of it, I definitely understand. But I've just kind of learned to handle my emotions myself and go through it with just my partner, which thank God for him. But there's been really dark times for sure, and maybe one day I'll open up about them when it feels right. But my main priority right now is just my kids and my relationship and my family, and that's really brought me happiness and made me be a lot better. So I want to be able to give to them. But I definitely think that, yeah, it goes without saying, like, when you go through a breakup after somebody with 7 years that you have kids with, of course, like, emotions, it's almost detrimental. And then to add to it, having the universe hate you and you not being able to say anything, it's really hard. So yeah, I definitely, yeah. Do you feel bad for emotionally destroying him? This is a really, this is a really hard part for me because, again, his emotions are his emotions, and I can never take those away from him, and they're not wrong. No matter what I have done or intended and what my reasoning was or anything, like, his emotions those are valid emotions, and I would never take that from him. But I will say, again, certain aspects, not when it comes to this video necessarily, but just in life, and this is the reason I don't make videos and stuff, is because it just feels wrong for me to sit here and say anything. But I definitely had a side. I did what I did for a reason, and a part of me gets very angry, and I think I'm still angry, which is why I still have not felt like right to film a video and make it, or to even acknowledge it like I am now. Because I just don't feel, I don't even know how to put my words into words. I don't feel like it's accurate. Again, without taking from his emotions. But do I feel bad for emotionally destroying him? I feel terrible that he has gone through what he's gone through, and that he has been in a dark place, and that, his emotions have led him to what he's felt. Well, things led him to that, but I have eaten myself alive, you guys, basically, with how guilty I have felt. This isn't something I've truly shared online because I have to be tall in my decision, right? And if I express any sense of emotional side to it or anything, people are gonna be like, oh my God, see, like, you regret it. And like, that's not the facts of it. I feel guilty that it hurt. I feel guilty that it was my choice. I feel guilty that it happened afterwards the way that it did. I feel bad that, yeah, of course, like, all the things, like, of course I do. But I don't think it's fair to say I emotionally destroyed him, and I don't want that to be what's portrayed. I know that's what I know that's not what he's trying to portray, because we've had this conversation many times in private, because that's not accurate. I didn't emotionally destroy him. I think what may have emotionally destroyed him, and I don't want to speak for him, but from my understanding, from the conversations we've had, is the shock. I think he was very shocked that I finally ended it. But I didn't even think he really even had emotions for pretty much all of our relationship, and I don't mean that in a mean way at all. But, like, truthfully, I'm a very emotional person, and I was almost, like, belittled constantly because of that. It wasn't his intention. I do know that now. But I wasn't allowed to really have emotions, is how I felt. So now seeing him be so emotional, maybe some of you can relate being in a relationship, just the basis of that, like, then seeing him be so emotional, it is a little bit hard. And in the beginning was a little bit frustrating because it was like, really? I begged for emotions for many years, and I really got nothing. And again, we both have a side of this, and this is what's so hard, and so I hate talking about it, and this is again why I've never made a video, because I feel guilty even now, like, expressing this to you guys. It makes me anxious because I just feel like it's not fair for me to sit on here and say things without him being able to, one, defend himself, and then also just, like, I don't know, it just makes me uncomfortable. Sorry to make this drag on so long to answer this one question, but Victoria, I do feel bad for his emotions. I have tried, if you asked him, he would tell you, I have answered his calls. I have totally tried to help. I have taken the kids when he's needed, like, not just because of other things, like, obviously I'm their mom, but, like, I've tried to emotionally help him because of my guilt alone, and for many other reasons, on repeat. Okay, I've given up myself after the breakup, emotionally and physically, to be able to help him. But to say I emotionally destroyed him, I don't think is a fair statement. Yeah. Must have been hard for him to see you guys move on so quickly with someone in your guys' circle. I absolutely agree. I imagine that was really hard. Just seeing some people in my life that I thought were really close with me gravitate towards him was really hard, you know? So I can only imagine how, now that I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm sure that I know that was really hard. And we have had that conversation, and he had a lot of questions, and we had the conversation before it was ever put online. And I definitely acknowledge that was hard. And I did feel bad. And again, I felt guilty. Like, I think people don't understand that, like, I do put off this, like, vibe on social media that I don't care, or that I don't think I did anything wrong, or like that I'm just a bitch. And I'm literally shaking because I just hate all of this. But I think for so many people that, like, have loved and supported me, I do understand why you guys want answers. But anyways, I do take credit for the things that I have done. Now, a lot of things that I think people think I've done aren't true, but the things I have done, I do take credit for. I do feel bad for. A part of me does feel guilty. Unfortunately, things don't always happen the way that you want them to, but I'm not sitting here. There's a difference between what I put out there in that sense and what I personally feel, because I can't necessarily share what I personally feel, or I'm like playing victim, which I'm not the victim. I'm not, if you know me at all and have watched our videos, like, I don't give off victim vibes, I don't think, and I'm not. I forgot what I was saying. I hate that I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. That's what I was wondering. Did you ever see him cry? When I seen it, I was shocked, and it made me bawl my eyes out. I think one time, 2 times, I think, actually. I think I saw him cry 2 times. One was a death, and the second time, it was something personal with him. I don't remember what it was. He made the video about himself, but you're sitting here talking about him instead of about you. I don't know in what way that comment is made to be, whether it's negative or positive. I guess it could be taken both ways, but I feel like I'm talking about him because I care about him, and I feel bad for him, and I feel guilt myself, and I also have a hard time thinking about myself, shockingly. So it's hard for me to sit here and talk about myself. And again, not like, that was also our problem in our relationship, is truthfully, I did feel for about 7 years that it was about himself, you know? And like, I don't know him anymore. Even though we co-parent together and stuff, a lot can change. And as you guys saw from that video, and even from what I saw, he's obviously gone through a lot in the last 1.5 years. So I'm assuming, and hopefully that's led to really good things. And a lot of those things have probably changed, but a lot of that also shows maybe what I couldn't deal with anymore. I feel so bad that people totally blew your guys' breakup out of proportion. I do think one of the biggest things in the beginning was just the video. And that was a really hard thing for me, because even now I'm super embarrassed of that breakup video. It was really hard because at that point, listen, we have 4 kids together. We broke up, and we still had to do everything together. We owned a business together. We had these kids together. We lived together. Our friends are together. Like, everything was together, right? That's couples. But like, we did have it on a little bit bigger level because of the business aspect. So when we broke up, but we both are the type of people that just try to emotionally detach. Well, I don't think that's true. I don't know at the time of our relationship, I don't know that he fully even understood how to have emotions. This is an assumption, and like, I'm not bashing on him in any way. I do think it's just part of the way he grew up, but in our relationship, not like, you know, you're responsible for your own actions, and I was responsible for learning how to emotionally detach, to not show emotions and embarrass myself or cry, because crying was like one of our biggest differences in the relationship. So when we split up, I think he tried to just be okay. I tried to emotionally detach, and we kept going. So we never really had a conversation between when we broke up. I mean, we were around each other and we did have conversations, but like, I don't think, even now, I don't think we've really had like an in-depth conversation about it. We've only like briefly, which at this point isn't necessary, but at that point, I think it was very necessary that before we made that video, we should have sat down and had a conversation. So in that video, I'm trying to act like nothing's different. Like, don't worry guys, everything's fine. We're fine. It's all great. We're not together anymore, but like, all is good. And he was, I think that was, again, one of the first times we sat down and really talked to each other, and there was a camera recording it, so you could sense his anger towards me, and his hurt, which is totally fine, but it's just something that shouldn't have been on camera. And yeah, I'm not proud of that video. That's not me. And I think that, like, I understand a lot of people think like, oh, you showed your true colors, and I definitely get that. And if that's what you took from it, then that's okay. Like, that's fine. But like, also at the same time, give me the chance to maybe, not give me the chance even, but like, look back on all the videos that you've watched, even my ones where I didn't know the camera was recording me, because we have a good amount of those. I've never been like that. So it's just hard that now what people know of me or want to know of me is not me. And like, I can't sit here every day and prove people wrong or try to prove people wrong. I can only just be myself, which I don't know until now, in the past like month or two, that I've really been able to do. Because I was just trying to be okay, be positive, be happy, who cares, fuck the haters, right? But like, that only works for so long. And so that's why I really took a break for social media for like a month, and then I came back, and now I've just really been trying to be like authentically me, no matter what the outcome of that is. And I feel like a lot of you guys see that. So I honestly feel like sometimes the way you express yourself makes it seem like you blame him. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I definitely get that, and I actually think for a small part of the first 6 months of our breakup, I was very upset at him, because I did feel like I couldn't do it anymore. I felt my end was I was trying really hard. I was switching things up. I was trying to act different. I wasn't being emotional. I was walking and talking the way I thought I was supposed to be, and then it didn't even work. So when I finally blew up and left, after I was like, yeah, because then you have to understand, he was like, where's this coming from? And then to me, it was like, are you kidding? So I did have that mentality of, this is all your fault, which isn't true. It takes two to tango. And after obviously going through the steps and the process and getting out of our relationship for a longer period of time, I was like, I know my flaws in that. And there was a lot. I had a lot of responsibility in the reason why that didn't work out. Truthfully, we were just very different people, and I couldn't stand some of the things that he did, and they weren't bad things. They weren't toxic things. These were just things that were him, and that he should never have to change or apologize for. So I definitely think there was a good portion of last year where I was angry, and I did feel like, why are you playing this sad role when you did this? Which is obviously a very immature and emotional reaction. So I knew if I wanted to grow and I wanted to be a better mom and a better partner and a better person, I need to acknowledge my flaws in that. Did you watch the video, or are you just speaking from what you've been told? I did not watch his video. I haven't been told. I actually just recently found out that his video was uploaded because I went to upload my YouTube video today and it popped up, but I didn't watch it. He was over at my house a few days ago getting his car washed, and so he stayed here all day and was asking me for advice on it, and I did watch a very, very rough draft. So, yeah. Cassie, I think, do you ever plan on taking him to court? No. We have both always tried to solve whatever issues that we've had with each other. I'm very grateful we haven't had a lot of issues, and that's made it, like, yeah, I've never felt like I wanted to go to court, and actually I've really tried to avoid that. I think people wanted someone to blame, and it seemed easier to blame you. I think two things. I think that's very true. I think that I ruined what people liked because it was my choice, right? And so you do need an answer. People need an answer. And if you don't give them enough of an answer, they're going to come up with their own. And me saying I needed to find myself was my number one mistake and regret, besides the way I acted in that video, which I already talked about. But I shouldn't have said I needed to find myself, because even though that was true, I just didn't want to sit there and talk about my relationship. I wasn't ready to do it. Like, we hadn't even had a conversation at the point that video went up. So I think that's true. And then the other thing is I do think his reaction and my attitude made people feel that way, and they were very valid to feel that way. I think people forget that YouTubers are humans. This is your actual life, and they forget about it. I think that's true. I think it's more, not necessarily that YouTubers are human. I think it's more that people forget that there's more than just what's on camera. I think a lot of you guys sensed what was going on in our relationship for on a lot of different occasions. But you want to believe just the basis of what you're shown, you know? And even I did. Kason, I'm so sorry. I didn't see your questions. I just scrolled to the bottom right now because there was quite a few that I didn't want to miss, the ones at the bottom. I know people in here think us talking about this means we are against you, but it's not. I definitely think, you know, this last 6 months-ish, I don't even know a timeline, I've really been trying to just change my perspective and just be understanding. Even, like, I mean, it's no secret. You guys see the hate, right? That's pretty much all you see about me in my comment section, in my everything. And I get it. But I also love making content, and I'm not going to stop. And what am I supposed to do? You know? I do think he was blindsided, but that's the part that makes me a little frustrated, and that was a lot of where my hurt came from when we first broke up, because it was kind of like, how? You know, how are you blindsided? Were we, not just me, were we both supposed to just sit through this for the rest of our lives? Sydney, I think is how you say your name. I definitely hope so. Like, I really hope that, I'm not asking people to make the same choices. I'm not saying everything I've done is right. You know, there's a lot I would change about the way that it all happened. But I do hope that you guys, mostly I hope just people see, like, I have a heart, and there's just a lot more. And that, you know, I keep hoping, it paused, sorry, but I keep hoping very often that regardless of the things that I haven't done right, or that have not happened the way they should have, or all these things, all the negativity, I just hope people see, like, I genuinely am, I have a good heart. Sometimes I'm not even very good at showing that, but I swear it's good in there. Yeah, I think that is part of it. But there was a time between when we split up and when I had gotten with my new partner that we had talked personally. This was not ever on the internet, but where he also felt blindsided, and that is when I was upset about that, because my new partner, that's fair, and I've never been angry about that. If anything, I've catered to him for that, and like, what do you need, and how can I do to make this better? Like, kiss ass, you know, because I get it. But blindsided about a relationship ending when that was happening, that was a little frustrating. Kayla, yes. Oh my gosh, I have a I guess I shouldn't say too much, that'll narrow it down, but I know somebody who's been in a relationship and their child is now a young adult, and their child is like, oh my gosh, I've been begging since I was like 3 for them to leave each other. Thank you, guys. I definitely think that I have considered making a video to talk about all this, because I do know what people want is just to see that I take accountability. Well, at least a lot of level-headed people, they just like want to see that I do feel responsible and that I do know what I've done wrong and all that. And for those people, I want to make a video. It's just, I guess it's scary to maybe put that out there and still have people, a mass amount of people. I mean, it's the internet. Not everybody's going to like me. I've never expected that, but I guess it's just scary to put that out there. And the biggest thing is, the most important thing to me is to keep a cordial relationship with the person I'm co-parenting with. That is like a daily relationship that I need to keep very good. And I put a lot of effort towards that. So making that video, even though it's for people who love and support me and who deserve that video, if there's a chance that that's going to upset him, it does scare me to do it, because yeah. And then I also have your guys' feelings where I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Nobody needs, I don't need to prove myself. So like, that's why sometimes I kind of feel like bipolar in a sense, because sometimes I do feel like, honestly, you don't need to know. And then I get in this like bad bitch mood, you know, I have my alter ego, and that part of me doesn't. But then the other part of me is like, maybe I should, especially like now that I'm getting married, and like, I just want to, I'm literally shaking. I just want to like move on. So maybe making a video would like close it off. But yeah, I just don't want to upset him. I don't want to like just fuel the fire and like give people something else to pick at it for. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm sorry. I know that got deep, but I figured tonight was going to be, like, I knew you guys were probably going to ask how I felt about the video, because once I saw it, I assumed a lot of other people saw it. Thank you, Kaysen. I just saw a good question. What advice for having kids not married? Because I want kids now with my boyfriend. I don't think it's necessarily essential to be married to have kids. Everybody finds marriage to be like have a different purpose. I definitely am one of those people. Like, I'm getting married now out of love and excitement, but not because I think it's going to change anything having him be my husband. Like, our love's not gonna change. Like, I still love him. You know, I don't know. And plus, weddings are very expensive, and, you know, honeymoons are expensive and all that. So I'm one of those people who I don't think it's essential in a relationship to get married. However, I do think time is essential, and experiencing things first. So that'd be my advice, is like, experience a lot of things first and then have kids, and then husband or boyfriend doesn't really change much. So the I statement things, I actually learned that a while ago in therapy, and I definitely that is what I try to do most of the time. And I've thought about doing a video in that way, but even me again, the reason I'm fearful of doing the video is upsetting him. And if I do I statements, I feel like some of those things he'll be like, well, why do you feel that way? And then it'll cause problems, you know, or that's not how it went, or that's not like, and I just like don't want any of that. Not to say that's like 100% what would happen, but it just makes me sweat, girl. It's funny because I'm not afraid of confrontation at all. In fact, I'm like the opposite. Completely the opposite. You guys see, when there's people who leave comments and things, I don't care to like acknowledge it. But it's, again, very different with him, because it's more than just like even wanting to keep a friend. Like, this is somebody that I share my children with, and if things are damaged, like, what if he doesn't send me pictures of the kids doing fun things? Or what if, you know, the kids sense stuff? Like, I don't know. So it's more than just like trying to not hurt his feelings, although I don't want to do that. It's also like, how could that affect things with the kids? Oh my gosh, you went to the pool. Isn't that one amazing? It's so fun. What wine are you drinking? I wish that I brought the freaking bottle down here, but I didn't. What wine? Oh, I just read that. It's the one I drank last week. If you guys watched the last live, that's the one I'm drinking. He was posting a video saying he was so damaged. You deserve your side. And maybe that's true, but it's not, for me, it's not about what I deserve. It's about it's just not necessary for me to be able to express myself right now. It's not about me, you know? And that's okay. I really do believe that one day it'll be my time to share my side, and it can be about me. That sounds so weird to say, but like right now, 100% my goal right now is to make content I love and that I feel passionate about, do a million fun things with my kids before school starts, and then make their school years so memorable. So overall, like, just be a good mom, like over the top mom. I want to be that mom where they're like, oh my God, my mom was nuts. She decorated the front door for every little holiday. She gave me a snack bar with so much variety that's different every single day. We had, like, this was the place that all the friends came. Like, I want to be that mom. And then also to be like an amazing housekeeper, homemaker, fiance, wife, you know, like that. Those are my goals. Like, when I think of what I'm focused on right now, that's what I'm focused on, and that's what I want to keep my mind on. So yeah, I do think one day I will maybe share more of it, maybe not. I don't know. I just have to trust what feels right, you know? People care about you being with P since P was your best friend's husband. I do think a lot of the reason that people are upset is because, yes, of who I ended up with. And again, very fair. Like, I cannot take away from that. I get it. But at the same time, people don't know the way that it happened. He was single when I started effing him, because truthfully, that's how it started. And again, there's just so much more to it. So that one is really hard because I can't say as much. But that is fair. I understand that. I take responsibility for that in the ways that it's true. And that's why you don't see me getting on here and being like, you know, all the things, because I get it. And if I could have not fallen in love with him, I wouldn't have. Trust me. I'm a new subscriber, but I'm drinking pink Moscato. Oh, hello, Elise. Okay, we're not always this serious. We have fun, I swear. And then Moscato. I don't love pink Moscato. I wish I did because it's cute, but I don't. But I'm glad you do. Are you excited for fall? I'm not. I don't love fall, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. It's true. P is the problem. Just admit you were a shitty friend, own it, and move on. I think people do also miss like a lot of the content that I put out because, and I put out a lot, so I get it, but I definitely have acknowledged it in small ways without titling it and thumbnailing it as a video. So maybe that's why people don't feel like they've seen it. But I definitely have said, again, I know that that is not how things should happen. Like, I understand that. There's a lot of ways that, not even just with me being with P, but a lot of things that have made me a shitty friend over the years, and not just to her. Like, this has been one of the biggest things that I have had to reflect on, and one of the hardest things for me to reflect on, because I didn't know how in the beginning, like how to reflect on that. You know, it was just, I don't know, this sounds really psychotic, but for a long time, I just didn't value friendships like I think people do. And I'm learning about that, and therapy has really helped me with that. And I've learned I want to value friendships like that. I want to have friends. I want to give and love to people. I think I just am always self-sabotaging a little bit, and not in a pity way. Like, again, I take responsibility. Like, it's not okay to be shitty under any circumstances. But again, there is more to it. However, I will say, yes, this is not the way I wanted this to happen. But he was single when we got together, and so was I. And I think that needs to be very known. Will you keep the same custody schedule during the school year? So we actually haven't fully talked about it, but kind of the other day I asked him, like, oh, is anything going to be changing during the year? And he said, like, just assume it's going to be the same. So were you not friends with her when it happened? So this is a really good question, and I want to backtrack because maybe I gave off the wrong impression. I'm trying to just clarify two things, because I do get being a shitty friend, and so getting with him, yes, accurate. Wrong of me. I don't wish it happened that way. I wish a lot of things about all that, and I do take responsibility. Like, I need to learn how to not only be a better friend, but just like understand. I'm still working through that process, okay? One step at a time. But I don't think that I'm like it's okay, you know? But the reason why that I keep saying that he was single is because a big thing is people keep saying that he was still with his partner and that I was still with mine. And I have not and will never. And like, it's just, that's not who I am. So it's hard for me not to defend. There's few good things about me, but that is one of them. And so that's why I kind of try to clear that. But I'm not defending the fact that I didn't do anything wrong. So I definitely don't mean that. Julia, oh my gosh, you need to send me pictures. Congratulations. That's so awesome. That's amazing. I bet you're having so much fun. All the Pinterest right now. Fave cheap wine. All the wine I drink is cheap, girl. The most expensive wine I will buy is $20, and I'll be pissed that I'm doing so, okay? It's only because 80 people told me to try it. I know it's super early, but have the kids thought about Halloween costumes? I hate drinking wine on these lives because my mouth waters a lot. We were at Costco yesterday, I think it was. Oh, they had the freaking Halloween costumes out, and the kids were like, I want that one, I want that one. They always kind of have an idea of what they want to be, and as they get older, I'm sure it'll be more specific. But at this age, we kind of just love going to the store and finding Halloween costumes there. I don't know how to say this right. Roxanne, I think that's right. Yes, we definitely were sleeping together before we ever fell in love. It didn't take long to fall in love, but we definitely were sleeping together out of struggle relating. We were both the bad guys in a relationship. And we were the ones who ended our relationships. And we didn't really have anybody at the time because of everything that was going on. So we really kind of used each other, that sounds so bad, in those ways. And it didn't feel wrong at that time because we were so angry and upset and hurt and alone and all these things. And I'm just giving you insight to my mind. This is not me saying that shouldn't, or that should have happened. It shouldn't. But that was kind of where our minds, and especially because we didn't think it was going to turn into love because we barely even hung out before that. It seemed like a little small thing, you know? And no, I wasn't considering anybody else's feelings in that, and either was he, and either were they. So that, I mean, we had just, yeah. Emily, thank you. Kaysen, thank you. The kids' schedule is currently, I have them pretty much full time. And then when he doesn't have anything going on, he gets them on Saturday night. And then sometimes he keeps them just till Sunday, or sometimes he'll keep them till Monday, and I'll pick them up in the morning. So it just kind of depends. Or like last weekend, the kids went to a dance camp, so I was with them. And then this next weekend, we're traveling, so he'll see them maybe if he can on Saturday night. I'm not sure. Michaela, thank you. Was it awkward to hook up with him after seeing him as just a friend? Not really. Again, the trauma has made me very easily detach emotionally to everything. Not anymore. I'm not as good at it anymore, and it's kind of obnoxious. Oh my gosh, congratulations, how exciting. Does P look at the Reddit pages? No, neither of us do. I don't even really know how to look at that, to be honest. And plus why would I? I don't really know. From what I've heard, there's just a lot of like hate things over there. And I already have that on Instagram. So if I really wanted to read something, I'd just go to Instagram. Plus I've noticed like the Reddit stuff is for a lot younger people. So if I'm going to read hate, I want to read like the professional kind. And that's usually on my Instagram. That sounds so bad, but it's true. Any more decisions on tearing down the house or renovating? We're definitely still tearing down and then going to build. That's the plan for now. Now that we're getting married, it might be a little more pushed back just because budget-wise. But yeah, we still plan on doing that. But we're not doing that for a couple years. Like 2 years, 2.5. Bria, thank you. That really, it means a lot. Like, really a lot more than you know. It's been a hard thing for me to figure out how to stay true to myself because for a good while I didn't know what that meant. I kind of lost track of all that, but I do feel like I'm finding it again, and it feels good to have somebody notice like my efforts, even though I don't always do a good job, you know? It's funny because the Reddit thing, like, I do feel like it's younger kids, but at the same time, like, how do younger kids know about Reddit? Because even I don't know about Reddit, and I thought Reddit was for older people. So, I'm confused. Have you bought a wedding dress yet? No. I think in September, I'm going to go wedding dress shopping in LA. I know you need to do that a year before, and we want to get married in June next year, but I don't think that I want to do it in Utah. I just don't Even clothes-wise, I don't like going shopping in person here. So I don't think I'd rather go to like LA. I'd love to be really over the top and go to New York, but unless I was going there for another reason, I'm not going to go all the way to New York to buy a wedding dress. That's ridiculous. But it sounds really fun. What's your inspo for wedding dresses? You guys, I have no idea. I love the idea of like big and poofy and crazy over the top. Like you only have one day, right? That you can just be like absolute ballerina. So I love that idea, but then I love like tight, sexy, classy, I don't know, definitely a veil and definitely a train. Those are two things I think I might walk in and change my mind because I've heard that you do that. But yeah, I've heard that you usually go with the first one. I don't know. I'm just so excited to go. Even if I don't pick one at the place, like I've never even envisioned myself doing that. So it's just crazy. Girl, ball gown all the way. That's the only reason I say maybe not a train, because I do love the ball gown look. So maybe I like definitely one of those two. Two dresses is an option, but then I would have to get really cheap dresses, because even though I could afford to go over the top. That sounds really stupid to say out loud, but like I could truthfully spend a stupid amount of money on my wedding, but I don't want that. I don't want a really big wedding, and I don't want to change my mind just because it sounds really fun. I will spend a lot of money on a videographer, at least 2 videographers actually, and at least 2 to 3 photographers, because that's what you have left. And I also want different styles. Like I want traditional type wedding photos in a wedding video, but then I kind of want like a fun one. It's different, outside the box. I feel like you like fitted and lace would be so pretty on you. Lace to me immediately doesn't sound appealing, but I would love to try it on. I definitely want to try different ones. Open bar or cash bar? Definitely a cash bar. Or I'm sorry, open bar. Open bar is the one where like I pay for it up front, right? And then they don't have to pay. That's the one I want. I have no idea who those people are. Do I know who those people are? I don't know. Preston's take was good, but I want to know your opinion on like what happens if people don't come to the wedding because they're upset about what happened. Truthfully, people in our lives who just that generic statement wouldn't not come, because everybody in our lives knows kind of like the full thing. And even though it was not an ideal situation, and again, there was things that everybody did wrong, and especially me, it's not like that in real life. Like what's going on the internet is not our real life. And we have a lot of people who are around that love and support us. And also, it's been a year and a half, and by that time it'll be like whatever, a whole nother year from now. So there's nobody, if they're still upset, they're probably not in our lives anymore, you know? I feel like backless fitted silk would be holy damn. I love that, but I hate my back. So I don't know if I would do a backless dress, because my back is what I'm very insecure about. Expensive honeymoon is better. I definitely agree. We want to spend a pretty penny on our honeymoon. I agree. And you only wear your dress once, you know? A taco bar is fun. Yeah, food, I just don't know. Are you guys having a bridal party? Yes, absolutely. Our engagement party is in 2 weeks. We're starting with that, and I can't even wait. I can't even do it. Or I can't even wait. The place we're doing it is so gorgeous. Aw, thank you. Girl, if you only knew the things. I feel like everybody just has their things, you know? Okay, guys, I love you so much. It is later that I'm doing this live, so I need to get off so I can finish work. Hopefully watching episodes of Suits if I don't fall a freaking sleep. I'm glad that I had a whole 3 sips of my wine. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I swear, if you're new, we don't keep it as heavy. Usually it's very light and fun. And yeah, let me know if you guys have recommendations for next week's theme. Maybe we'll actually do what this week's was supposed to be, because we didn't really talk about it. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and mostly for subscribing. It really does mean a lot that you guys just do that extra step to be involved. Even if you're a hater and you don't like me, it does still mean a lot, and I'm very grateful for you. So I will see you guys in my next live. Bye, guys.